Hi, I'm Kitty from BashfulCat.com. I am a card maker, and I'm also pretty bashful, but I'm working on that. When I first got the crazy idea to create a YouTube video and record stuff, my plan had been to make these really nice, helpful card tutorials on how to make handmade cards. Sort of like all my card-making heroes like Christina Werner, Jennifer McGuire, Laura Basson, and so many others. Well, as I attempted this along the way, I learned two important things. One, it's a lot harder than it looks. Not so much the card making, which I've been doing for a long time, but making videos. So kudos to all you wonderful YouTubers out there that put so much effort into it. And two, there wouldn't be any point for anybody to watch my videos unless I could figure out what I had to offer that was different or unique. Either my cards had to be really unusual or special, or there had to be something about me that would make people want to watch. Well, I'm still looking for that. So today's video is a little bit different. I've been called a lot of things, and most of them not so nice, but it boils down to I'm very detail-oriented, slightly obsessive-compulsive, and I am a total planner nerd. In fact, I plan better than I execute, which is a problem. And I have a lousy memory, which makes it a really good thing that I'm a very good note keeper. So I decided I send a lot of snail mail, both cards and long handwritten letters and typed notes and all sorts of stuff. And I found that as I get older, I simply can't keep track of what I sent to who. As a chemo angel, I will sometimes send letters and cards to the same person every few days for months or even years occasionally. And it was important to me that each one be special and unique, and that after a few months of hearing from me, they weren't hearing the same story over and over or getting the same card with the same thing written on the inside. So I figured it was time to come up with a system to keep track. Well, I developed a system, and amazingly, I am actually keeping it up. It is working much better than my own personal day planners. That's still a work in progress. But I came up with what I call my angel agenda, just because it started because I'm a chemo angel, but I actually track all of my correspondence in here. And I also have a separate book for sentiments and card designs that I keep track of cards that I've made so that I have a reference, a place for inspiration, and a way to remember which card is which. So without further ado, I'm going to turn off this camera and reposition things so that you can see my books, and I will show you how I obsessively keep track of all my correspondence. So this is my angel agenda, and like I said, this is where I record all of the correspondence I send, whether it's related to chemo angels or it's just friends or family. So anyway, this is just the cover page. A quote I happen to like. Oh, I will point out that this binder is really awesome. I love it because it's a 3-ring, but it's got a soft spine so that you can lie it flat. And it makes it really easy for writing down all those notes. I don't have to try to get it to lie flat on my desk. So anyway, that's the first page. Then I have tabs for different people, friends, family, whatnot. This is my current buddy, so you don't need to see her. Anyway, I have sections for everybody. I went ahead and set up a fake buddy so I could show you what I do, because I wouldn't reveal any personal information. So say I got a new buddy named Jane Doe. I make sure her name and address are big right on top so that that's the first thing I see when I flip through to the new buddy, because I'm going to need her address over and over as I make out envelopes. And I write down the date that I was assigned to them and their birth date, favorite color, things they like, notes about their family, and then I'll add to this if I learn anything else about them that I might think is relevant. Okay. Then I would also have a list where I keep, this is where I write down what I sent. So I write down everything, every time I mail anything to my buddy, I just go ahead and list it. So I put the date, and here I put HW letter, that stands for handwritten, because sometimes I type. And then I wrote down, I sent a welcome letter with a little about me, and then I also sent a card, and I listed this as design AB in purple and pink and sentiment 225. And in just a moment I'm going to show you how I came up with that. But all it took was 3 lines for me to have enough information that I won't repeat the design of the card or the sentiment that was inside the card, and I won't repeat the topic that I was talking about in my letter. So let's see. Actually, I'm going to switch to the other binder temporarily so you can see how I keep track of my sentiments and card designs. So I have a separate binder for that. And this seems like a lot of paper, but I discovered I actually do fill up both of these binders. So it turned out to be a good thing. I originally started keeping notes in my planner, just my daily planner. The notes I need to keep for correspondence are way too much. They just don't fit. So this is fine for me. It's not something I take with me. I just keep it at home by my desk, and it works out well. I have a post-it note here where I keep track of the number that I'm on. Every time I collect quotes because I like to have something to write on the inside of a card, and just thinking of you, that's not enough, and I want it to be something original and interesting. So every time I find an interesting quote, I write it down. If I know the author, I put that down too, and I give it a number. So right now, I can tell the last number I used was 266. That means there are 266 different quotes in here right now. I will cross that out and put 267 the next time I come up with another quote. Now the quotes are all organized by topic. I have several different sections, and then I have a miscellaneous section with more pages where I've broken them out. So I've got one for positive, meaning upbeat, happy messages. I've got one for funny, where I put any kind of humor or anything. One for friendship, one for different seasons, so that I have winter, summer, spring, autumn. And that's where I keep the holidays. I'll have a separate page for Christmas sentiments and one for Halloween. And the other great thing about this system is I'm not limited to one category. So, for instance, if you open to my first section, the very first page, it's under the positive section, but I gave it its own page. This is Irish Blessings. I just love these things. Every one I've read just seems to, I don't know, they're just really nice, and I think they fit really well inside a card. So I've got several sentiments written down, and they're all numbered, and I change colors just because that's fun for me, but not necessary. Anyway, like here, sentiment number 5 says, a sunbeam to warm you, a moonbeam to charm you, a sheltering angel so nothing can harm you. Now, this quote is found here. It's also found on a later page where I have a bunch of quotes that reference angels. Being a chemo angel, sometimes that comes up, and I want to have a sentiment that fits that. There's also an Irish blessing that talks about butterflies, and I have a separate page for butterflies so that, say I'm making a card that has a butterfly on the front and I'm not sure what to put in the middle, then sometimes having a quote that talks about butterflies fits in. So I've also got one for kids, so I've got sentiments that are appropriate for a kid's card. So I'll go back to the other binder and I'll show you how I track all of that. So let's see here. So whenever I make out, or first I should say, when I start a new buddy, I color code them just because it makes it easier to see at a glance. I usually don't have too many full-time buddies all at the same time, so my current buddy, I've color coded her as pink. So all the pink pages I know relate to my current buddy. So what I do, as soon as I got a new buddy, I printed out several different sheets that I keep in this binder for tracking stuff. Now I do make a note about everything that I sent, but what I found was that if I have several pages of notes with all of the different cards and sentiments and stuff, it's pretty hard to figure out which ones I've already used and which ones I haven't at a glance. It's just, you know, it's not super quick. So what I did is I just created a really simple chart on Excel, because I love spreadsheets, and I just numbered all the boxes 1 through whatever. And in fact, I'm on 2 pages now because I was only able to fit 1 through 210 on the first page, so it goes through here. This means that my current buddy has received sentiments number 5, 6, 11, 18, etc. So, at a glance, if I'm making her a new card and I say, okay, this one has a butterfly on the front, I need a good butterfly sentiment. And I go to my butterfly page in my other book, and I see that I have 5 sentiments about butterflies. At a glance, I can check and see, have I used all 5, or are they free, or is there one that's available that I can use? And as soon as I use it, I cross it off, and that way I won't use the same quote or sentiment another time. I also do this, sometimes I put quotes in letters, or like at the bottom of a letter. I do the same thing. I just cross it off as soon as I use it. And it is so easy peasy. It takes no time at all to mark it off, and that way I won't use that sentiment again. So it's really convenient. So now I'll show you how I keep track of card designs. Okay. This part is going to be a little bit more embarrassing, but I figure if it helps somebody. What I did is I created a really simple template, just used a ruler and pencil and scanned it so that I could print off multiple copies of 3 basic card shapes. And I actually have 2 different sets. These are the landscape, and then I also have ones for portrait cards. So that I'm prepared for whatever kind of card. And then I have some blank pages where I can draw out something like a never-ending card that doesn't really fit this description. So what I do is whenever I create a new card that doesn't really look like any other card, I will quickly pencil sketch the basic design. Usually I don't get too elaborate. I just want enough to jog my memory about what the card looked like. And then I give it a letter. Because the sentiments are numbered, I give the card designs a letter. So this is A, B, and C, the first 3 cards that I put in this book. And I've also written down notes to help me remember how I made the card or anything specific. Anyway, this is the card designs that I have. And when I send a card, I have another spreadsheet that looks very much like the sentiment spreadsheet, only this one has letters, so A, B, C, D. And because there's only 26 letters in the alphabet, and I've already designed more than that in cards, after that I went to A, B, A, C, so that'll last me quite a while. So whenever I use a card, I give it a letter. Now this does take a little bit more time, and I debated about whether to do this for the longest time because I do have to actually write out a note and draw a picture, and my drawing skills are limited, but it's so helpful to have this reminder. It also works for inspiration sometimes if I'm just completely stumped about a card to make, so it's nice to have this. So I thought I'd also show you that, let's see, sometimes for my buddies, I also will send them something interesting that I found on the internet. And I have a collection of just funny things that I keep on my computer and I can print off. Like 40 facts that will make you smile, and Diary of Cats and Dogs, different stuff like that, the funny little stuff. So I have check marks here on the ones that I have sent to this buddy. So that works really well for tracking stuff that I like to send, that I really like and like to share. I also have a list of topics that I am not going to show you, but it's a list of topics of stories, things like the time my shoe got stuck in the stage at a concert and stuff like that. Whatever it is that I think might be amusing or interesting to my buddy. And then I just cross off or highlight every time I've used that topic, and that way I won't repeat myself on the topic. Anyway, then I have a section for friends, sister angels, which are other chemo angels that I might send stuff to, miscellaneous notes, graduates, which is some former buddies that I sent to before, and then miscellaneous, and then postage notes. Like I said, I just thought this might be of interest to some people because I can't imagine doing what I do now without these books to help me track it. They have been so helpful, and it's something, like I said, that I keep up with regularly. A lot better, actually, than my daily planner, I'm afraid. But I'm working on that, and when, like I said, when I reach that ultimate planner piece that I hear people talk about, then I will probably share my planner with you all too. So hopefully that was of some benefit or some help to somebody. If you have any questions, I am so easy to track down. I would love to hear from you. If you have any comments, suggestions, ideas, whatever, you just want to chat, I'm easy to find. Also, I will try to find at least these binders and maybe a couple other things I used and list them as supplies in the description of this video. And then there will be more details and still shots of some of this on my blog. So thank you so much for watching. If you got anything out of this, I would love a thumbs up. I'm still new and still trying to figure out this whole YouTube thingy, but thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.